G'day everybody. If I had to make a bet about previous things I've talked about, that if God brought down another child of his to see how the world would react, when God done that, God sends down a child to find out of this planet. He's got lots of them. He hasn't got just this one. He's got lots, even though a lot of people on this planet like to think it's the centre of the world. And that's just because they're not smart. But God is the universe. He's got lots. Looks at this one. It's a big troubled world. It's been in trouble. It's never been peaceful world for that long at all since. And a peaceful world is a balanced world since the dinosaurs days. That's why the dinosaurs days stayed around for so long. Why God did his test about dinosaur creatures and how they worked and act and played. And then he got bored after a while and wiped them out. And I can definitely say this story because the dinosaur story is a week of living. You know how they scientists talk about, we'll put it in a scale thing. So in scale, dinosaurs lived for a week. That's how long they lived for in the history's time. And in that same scale, we've lived for about 3 seconds. So dinosaurs lived for a long time their way. And we could end ourselves by leaving about 3. I might not be exactly right on that, but that's sort of the point, right? And we've only lived 3 seconds, or definitely with technology where we can really screw up things. And so what I'm trying to say is that if Jesus come down again, I won't call him Jesus, but so you understand what I'm talking about, we'll call the next one McNugger, right? Whatever you want to call. He says that he's probably done it several times, might have done it since Jesus too. We don't even know of. Jesus was just one of the stories of these entities, right? And he sends another one down. This is the good God to find out should he really help or join or do something different, right? And so he sends one down to find out if these people should get smarter, should allow them to get smarter, right? Because maybe the universe, and we heard about evolution, right? How evolution works is that maybe the universe sends off a wave to allow, and it's such an upgrade. But if you're in such evilness and you're already failing in what you got already, it won't allow that upgrade. You might have to leave it there, or you actually, in fact, they want to send a wave to downgrade them. You know what I mean? And see how that goes, and then wait till they're ready, because that's like saying how a lot of people say we're not ready for technology, which I believe too, because it gets used and abused. A lot of technology should be only government controlled in a way so it doesn't get used and abused. But anyway, get back to the point I was trying to talk about. When it comes to if another Jesus turned up, would you think everybody, definitely the world it is today, and the leaders with all the leaders we have, everyone would fight if they knew. So he comes out of the sky and he goes, now I need to go to such a place, who needs to be? I'll let you people pick. Would you think we'll all go, oh, we'll just let it be America, or we'll all go see him and we'll just let it there? Or will they fight and carry on? And then if they can't get what they want, they'll just kill him. Like, oh, you can't go there, so I'm going to kill him. You know those stories? Yeah, they go, well, if we can't get it, we can't end it. You think they'll do that? Because that was a similar thing that happened to Jesus in his story, and there was lots of other stories before his of these same type of children and tests where the universe sends down. We can even say aliens can do a similar test to find out before aliens can connect as well. So you can put all this in the same boat of the universe of God, because the aliens will actually have that because they're more advanced of us and things need to believe in things. So they're more likely have that kind of thing. But we are that low that we could have aliens like gods that have flying spaceships and can mind control us, because we don't believe in that kind of thing, but they could. Science is possible for them to do things like that and just warp here and things like that. Would see them as gods if they try to pretend they were by being invisible, or ghost creatures or things that we look up as gods, right? But they're not really, are they? Right? But to us they are, until we get to their level and understand their level, and then we won't see them as gods. Like a caveman would see me as a god if I rocked up with just a light, if I went back in time. He'd be like, ooh, and I had a TV, he'd be like, oh, wizard, you get it? Because they're not advanced, they're low. So how advanced are we? So my belief is, if a Jesus turned up, we'd string him up again. I've talked about it in another thing. It sounds a little negative, but I do speak truth. And I believe that Jesus speaks truth too when he comes down, besides learning and being loving and that. One of the things that it'll be is to speak truth no matter what, and stand by what you think and believe is right. And if such a creature come down now, and no one could stop him and heard that, but which you could though, because these creatures are human. They're here for a human experience, and to see if a human can get humans to change, not another entity, because they need a change within themselves first, really, before they can connect with higher entities and stuff like that. If you think about the universal rules and that, it's a little bit similar to that. If you watch Star Trek, it sort of helps you out with that kind of thing. Not saying Star Trek's truthful or anything, it just helps you open your mind about rules and things that can happen. And what would happen is Jesus would probably get strung up. And if that happened, and it was about these negative and positive energies, or should we help them more or leave them to their thing, which if they help them, they'll be more positive than if we leave them to them, they're going to have more negative, as other aliens will come, because these good aliens go, we're not going to protect that planet. Or this God goes, no, because there's another God and we're going to have a balance, and you can have that planet because they're not all working. So he's got all those planets in the universe that are going like shit, and these ones here are fucking like heaven, right? Because they're sticking to that energy and they've changed and wanted to do something for real. And they had the same test where they had an entity come and they looked after it and believed it and changed, where this other planet killed it and thought it was better. And now it actually lives like that. And we explain to these heaven worlds that this is what can happen if you don't do things right. And so it teaches both worlds, doesn't it? But which world did you want to be? And it's up to the world collectively to figure that out. What would you think? Would you think you'd be strung up at this time if you turned up? Definitely with the wars going on and stuff like that. Imagine if you turned up at Russia. Would you think Russia would hand him over to another country? Would you think Russia should have him and him help him out, or let Russia kill him? You know what I mean, people? I don't think you would you? And so that'll start a fight, wouldn't it? And I don't think Jesus would want that fight to occur. I'm not saying that it shouldn't, because maybe he might not be the right spot, because the key is not to kill this entity. It would be a good thing. And not to try to control it either, because you could and get some benefits off it, like stealing a spaceship that crashes, and that's all you're going to get instead of all the other cool shit that they're going to have up there, because you wanted to use and abuse it instead of using it for love, instead of sharing it. You see, if a spaceship crashed here, it could be an alien test, and they wanted to see if the government would share it and hold off people and be sharing, because that's what they're like, and they're not going to connect with nothing that's not like that. And instead the government hides it and then uses and abuses and controls, right? And so these aliens are like, no, they're going to get nothing. And they think they're tough shooting these things down. We're sending baby technology and stuff. We want them to think that they're tougher. You get it? But have a good one, people, and see you later. I don't want to blow too much. Got to save something, eh? Because these people want everything out of me, right? Because that's what the devil wants, like what they did with Nikola Tesla, because they try to get as much as they can out of you. So if I'm right, until something else happens, right, the future could always change, this probability. But how I feel and all the things I put out and have people listen to me but don't want to talk about me is a similar thing, where I don't feel safe. Would you feel safe if that was happening? So you wouldn't want to speak so much, even though I want to do more and more and more. Sometimes you're better off not to, if you feel a bit strange about what is happening and the retaliation you're getting of things you've already posted. Have a good one. And I wish I could do a lot more, but I'm in such a battle at the moment, spiritually and with the people, I guess, because they rather lock up on small things and stuff like that, which I've showed on my post. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that because it's me just re-explaining, and you'd see it all in the future. And when it comes out, if it doesn't get blocked, if it gets blocked, we've got other things, and lots of things can happen definitely in this world. But I guess this is be a test. Imagine if this was a test in a similar thing. I'm not saying I'm Jesus or anything, but I'm saying he had followers too and stuff like that. All I'm saying is I'm speaking the truth. I've tried to think about everything that I can remember I've done wrong and repented. And so, to me, I know I feel safe if I was in such a time when this time comes. See, the problem is when these times come, the people in that time get to choose the fate at that time. So if you want a good time in the future, is to start teaching your kids and doing it right, because if this time comes up, the people can't complain and go, well, it's not fair that you turned up at this time on us, we had their problem and all that. It was all done collectively over time. So if he turns up and they think they're not ready, and that when they go through this test, well, they should have been ready. They've had all this time since the last time you had this advice, and you should have done this and this and that. You get it, people? So you really, if our faith comes, doesn't it? Because we collectively choose it, And it doesn't matter if we have some good ones, they just suffer because we're a collective. The universe is a collective. Sometimes planets get broken up to help with all the rest of the collective. We need asteroids to spread life and all the rest. Anyway, I'm getting into it too much. Have a good one, everyone. Bye bye.